But so many people have been coming to me and praising me for telling a story that, as a cis man, isn't mine to tell. The reality is that I'm just a guy who had an afternoon free and the skills necessary to do a job. There's no reason that I should be speaking to you in this capacity. I'm an entertainer, not a journalist, not an organizer, certainly not a hero. The fight for freedom is not won by great men. It's won by communities, by unions, by militias. It is only when people work together for the common good of all that we can progress as a culture, as a nation, and as human beings. If the acts of an individual inspire you, awesome. But that's not the end of the story. You have to take that inspiration and let it motivate you to action. You've shown up here today, and for some of you, that's a phenomenal first step. If you want the world to change, you have to find community and build a better, more diverse, more equitable world. If we all have our roles, and responsibility in this struggle for a better world, but hero is not one of them. And we've seen time and time again how idolizing stories and heroes only makes things worse. We've seen it with Hitler, and we're watching it happen right now with Trump. Don't be a hero. Be a voice that demands justice. Be a hand that lifts up. Be the foot that marches for progress. Be the heart that loves your neighbor. Fred Rogers was not a hero. He was a good man who knew exactly what his role was in this great effort towards a better world, and he gave it everything he had. Rogers once said, "We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say, it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes." This one's a little cathartic for me. Sometimes a man will show up at your doorstep just to freak the fuck out, 'cause he heard a white man on the news using slurs and shouting something he knows nothing about. I know it's tempting to believe that facts and logic might make him change, but the red pill broke his brain, and now he just wants someone to blame. Here comes the clown. He'll never question what the orange man tells him. Here comes the clown. He'll blame the Mexicans for 9/11, and he thinks he's so much smarter than the man with a degree. Well, here comes the clown. He thinks he's gonna make a clown of me. Sometimes you have to leave a conversation while your psyche's intact, 'cause the other person is fanatically committed not to listen to statistics or facts. I know you'd want to wake him up, there's evidence and research for days, but he wants to own a slave, so he votes to murder the gays. Here comes the fool. He'll take your rights away to get to heaven. Here comes the fool. He'll blame the socialists for 9/11. He makes everything much harder than it ever needs to be. Great, here comes the fool. He thinks he's gonna make a fool of me. You know, when you argue with an idiot, nobody can tell who's the idiot, you or the idiot. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Daniel. We'll have our cadre of speakers up here in a couple minutes, so just hang on.
I tasted the bitter fruits of racism, and I didn't like it. I didn't like seeing those signs. I didn't like when we went to the theater. All of us little black children had to go upstairs to the balcony, and all the little white children went downstairs to the first floor. come home and ask my mother, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, why? They would say, that's the way it is. Don't get in the way, don't get in trouble. But one day in 1955, 15 years old, in the 10th grade, I heard about Rosa Parks. I heard the words from Martin Luther King Jr. on old radio. The action of Rosa Parks, the words and leadership of Martin Luther King Jr. inspired me to find a way to get in the way. And I got in trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble. As a student in college, we studied the way of peace, the way of love, the way of nonviolence. We studied what Gandhi attempted to do in South Africa, what he accomplished in India. We studied the roads, civil disobedience. We studied the great religions of the world. And Andrew Eisen will tell you, in book 1, March book 1, we start sitting in, black and white college students, black and white high school students. We sitting there in an orderly, peaceful, nonviolent fashion, waiting to be served. And someone would come up and spit on us. They put a lighted cigarette out in our hair or down our backs. Pour hot water, hot coffee, or hot chocolate on us. Pull us off the lunch counter. We were orderly, peaceful. Many of us accepted nonviolence as a way of life, as a way of living. But we were charged with disorderly conduct, disturbed the peace. We got arrested. I went to jail the first time on February 27, 1960. Between 1960 and 1966, I was arrested and jailed 40 times. For sitting in. We're going on the Freedom Ride. Marching for the right to vote. Beaten at a Greyhound bus station in South Carolina. Beaten at a Greyhound bus station in Montgomery, Alabama, and left bloody and unconscious. Beaten, having a concussion on that bridge in Selma, Alabama, on March 7, 1965, a day that became known as Bloody Sunday. But I never became bitter or hostile, never gave up, I never gave in. I kept the faith, and during all these many years, I tried to keep my eyes on the prize. March, book 1. Tell a story of a group of people who stood up together, rested together, beaten together, and jailed together. Some of my friends didn't make it. They died. Today, this year, we celebrated, just a few weeks ago, the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. Back in 1963, August 28, 1963, I was the youngest speaker to March on Washington. And out of the 10 people that spoke that day, I'm the only one still around. So as we write book 2 and book 3, we would tell the whole story, the complete story. There were people that would struggle to make America different, to make America better, and create what we call one people, one family, one house. For in America, we all live in the same house, the American house. And it doesn't matter whether we are black or white, Latino or Asian American or Native American. On this little planet, this little spaceship that we call Earth, we must learn to live together, as Dr. King was saying, or we will perish as fools. Can't give up. Can I give in? Can I become bitter or hostile? We have to march on with hope, with faith, and with love.
Ladies and gentlemen, the words of John Lewis. We are here to celebrate today, to learn from his words, to speak about his words, but most importantly, to act upon his words. Now, before we get started, just a couple things. We do need to make sure we keep these roads clear if the ambulance or police need to come through. And more importantly, if you are here today and you have not signed up at the booths for the various mailing lists, for the various groups that are here to help our cause, please make sure you come sign up to be a volunteer, get on the mailing list, help initiatives get on the ballot. This is part of the trouble we need to cause today. Now our first speaker, Shiva Rajbandari, VP of FaithVote, is going to talk to us about his research in Latin America about resisting authoritarianism regimes. Please welcome Shiva. Show me what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! What is up, y'all? I'm proud to be here with all y'all. My name's Shiva. I'm a 20-year-old student from UNC, longtime youth organizer here. And the last year, like many of you, for me has been rough. Seeing fellow students at my college protesting genocide, being maced by the police and by our own universities, watching my country once again choose a billionaire sex offender over a woman for president, having our democracy crumble, our social services dismantled, my immigrant, my trans friends be persecuted on the basis of their identity alone. I'm being a dead horse here, but y'all, our republic is in severe danger, and we need good trouble now more than ever if we're going to protect it. So in March, I set out to Latin America to understand how democracies break down. I spoke with activists and experts in Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Peru, and Mexico, where I studied every type of democratic breakdown. I visited sites of mass killings, of genocide, of extrajudicial torture and sexual violence, and everywhere I went, I asked the same question. What can regular people like you and me, what can we do in the face of authoritarianism? What can we do in the face of the most powerful people in the world trying to take away our freedoms? That's right. Well, I got back on Sunday and I wish the answer was just as simple as resist. The reality is, there is no silver bullet. But there are certain trends. So I'll share three of them. The first trend I want to share with y'all is that dictators prey on division among working people. When there is rampant inequality, when people can't get enough to eat, when they can't find work, how can they believe in democracy? How can they trust their neighbors to govern with them when their neighbors can't even be bothered to make them a meal or help them with rent? For a long time, we've seen this in America. Trust, the democratic backsliding we're experiencing this century started long ago, started in the 70s and the 60s. We've seen the decline of public space, the defunding of our public schools, the defunding of our parks, our pools, our trades, our public housing. That makes it easy. That makes it easy for the billionaire class to instill fear among us, fear of one another. For them to tell us that somehow we have more in common with billionaire private jet flying estranged from his children, Elon Musk, than the immigrant mother down the street who just wants a livable future for her children just like the rest of us. that has successfully stopped dictatorship did so by building community, by showing people that it is not our neighbors that are taking our jobs, but the corrupt oligarchs who rule over us. So that's the first thing. The second is that dictators manufacture compliance. Hitler, Fujimori in Peru, Bordaberry in Uruguay, these authoritarians came to power not illegally, but legally. By the time they suspended their respective countries' constitutions, they had amassed so much control over government, the suspension of the Constitution was just a formality. John Lewis, may he rest in peace, he calls on us to recognize that the law is not a moral code, and the law alone will not liberate us.
That's right.
Does that mean, thank you, so does that mean that we should go revolting against every institution and violently overthrow our government? No. In fact, painting resistance as lawless is how authoritarians legitimize their repression. But does that mean that we comply with orders to deport our neighbors, to bomb Palestine, to lie about science, to prevent children from accessing life-saving gender-affirming care, to deny women and pregnant people autonomy over their own bodies? It does not. This voluntary compliance, this excuse, orders are just orders. That is the reason that Trump has come so far. Instead, we must take stubborn, non-violent, direct action. Disobey! Disobey, immoral laws! Force the regime to come and force us to comply. Highlight the repression and the inhumanity of this government and force its supporters to reckon with us.
5 years ago, we lost Representative John Lewis, a man of deep faith and moral courage who changed our history. He called us to make good trouble in pursuit of justice and dignity. We honor his life not just with memory, but with action, because good trouble must live on. My friends, I'm here not only as a lifelong Idahoan and an American, but as a person of faith, compelled by the gospel of Jesus to love my neighbor as myself, not just those who look like me, think like me, or live like me, but all my neighbors. I believe the word all in liberty and justice for all must mean all. That's not partisan, that's American, and it's a moral and theological truth. From Genesis to the prophets to Jesus, Scripture calls us to recognize every human being as being made in God's image and to tear down the boundaries that divide us. Any form of Christianity that sees the world as being filled with enemies to be conquered rather than neighbors to be loved has forgotten that central truth. Right now we are seeing a brand of Christianity trying to merge the cross with the flag and claim God just for one nation, for one party, and for one people. But the God I worship breaks chains, liberates, lifts the lowly, and tears down walls, and loves all humanity. My friends, faith isn't about power. It's about serving each other and putting the interests of each other above our own. So we must care about the systems that harm our neighbors, like voter suppression, criminalizing poverty, stolen health care, and faith being used to justify cruelty. My faith compels me to care about my neighbors, my community, and the common good of all people. Because when one of us suffers, we all suffer. When rights are under attack, we must show up. Amen? John Lewis showed us what it looks like. He crossed bridges that others feared. He stood in the face of violence and never gave in to hate. His courage came not from politics, but from his deep faith, from a belief that love is stronger than fear, that justice is worth the cost, and that peace is not the absence of tension, but the presence of truth. Friends, we are now the ones who are carrying this truth forward into our communities, into our places of worship, our courthouses, and yes, at the ballot box. We must stir up good trouble. Let our lives declare from this moment forward that liberty and justice for all means all, no exceptions. So let's walk in John Lewis's footsteps. Let's make good trouble, holy trouble, until justice rolls down, dignity is honored, and love reigns. Let's move forward with purpose, trusting that love will have the last word. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Ben. We got a couple more John Lewis quotes, and then we'll have Lisa Sanchez up next.
Good trouble, necessary trouble. That's what I've been doing for more than 50 years, and I will continue to do it. We will tell the whole story, the complete story. Though the people, we will tell the whole story, the complete story. Though the people of a struggle to make America different, to make America better, and create what we call one people, one family, one house.
While digesting Reader's Digest in the back of the dirt store.
I am now proud to announce the first Latina City Council member and longtime activist, Lisa Sanchez.
My name is Lisa E. Sanchez, and I am a Mexican-American who is proud to call Boise, Idaho my home for the past 36 years. I am also proud to come from the kind of people who love to engage in some good trouble. Now, as Congressman John Lewis urged us all to do, I call upon all of you to lean into the opportunity to make some good trouble today and all the days moving forward. The time for complacency is over, my friends. We cannot defer action to someone else or to another day. No one else is coming, friends. We are the solution to our country's problems. If you have been afraid to get into trouble by speaking out against injustice or by standing up for someone who you saw being mistreated, I invite you all to do it. Do it scared. I did. The first time I received and answered the call to run for a seat on the Boise City Council, I did it filled with fear, and I did it anyway.
Thank you so much, Lisa. In a minute here, we're going to have an opportunity to take part in some good trouble. You guys ready for that? Yeah! So if you haven't gone down and signed up at the booth yet, please do pick up one of the signs we got down there, because I got some instructions for you here in a few minutes. Secondly, NAMBA is also having a rally tonight at 6 p.m. at Lloyd Square Park. I want to see you there. Let's get loud, not just in Boise, not just at the Capitol, but across this entire state. Thank you.
Who designed to participate in the democratic process, the right to vote. We were orderly, peaceful. Many of us accepted nonviolence as a way of life, as a way of living. If not us, then who? If not there, then when? It was something deep down.
within me, moved in me, that I could no longer be satisfied or go along with an evil system. But I had to be maladjusted to it. And in spite of all of this, I had to keep loving the people who denied me service.
Welcome back. It's been an amazing day filled with powerful speeches, and it's not uncommon for us to relate to the rebels, the underdogs, the fighters. We wonder how we respond in a battle of good versus evil. We see ourselves as Frodo, as Princess Leia, but most of us in reality are the merchants, the gardeners, the mechanics. We are background characters until purpose is thrust upon us. In conversation, I've heard this critique, that many of us are only here because we are now only being personally affected, whether it's cuts to Social Security, Medicaid, federal jobs, worker protections. The critics say we were absent while their communities were being decimated long before Trump 1.0. And they're right. But now we're here to right that wrong. Our intentions are good, but we crave comfort. And that comfort has been weaponized. It is made deliberately insecure by politicians and the wealthy. Right-to-work laws make it easy to fire us for speaking out. Recessions keep us clinging to homes and health insurance. We chase a vanishing dream while oligarchs eat our lunch. A taste of comfort and a constant fear of losing it. We cannot celebrate good trouble while clinging to comfort. We must lean into discomfort until this system is fixed. Look at Idaho Senate Bill 1141, the homeless camping ban. It bans the homeless from camping where we can see them. It doesn't fix homelessness, doesn't house anybody, it just hides it. If I were in office, I'd make these grounds right here free for the homeless to camp, so that the lawmakers are required to pass by and see them until the problem is fixed. That's what I call good trouble. We are not here to defend a broken status quo. We are here to shape a new system, one that is judged by how it guarantees life, liberty, and justice for all. For all. And yet, some say we just want to rewind to the status quo of 2016. When those in need were out of sight. I need to hear from you that that's not enough.
That's not enough!
I need to hear from you that if you have a home while millions are unhoused, the system has failed. If you earn a living wage but others can't, the system has failed. If you have health insurance but medical bankruptcy is still a thing, the system has failed. If you're able-bodied but the disabled must go without the things that they need, the system has failed. If you're a born and bred American, but your immigrant neighbor lives in fear, that system has failed. I need to hear from you that so long as injustice exists, you will lean into discomfort and raise good trouble until the system serves us all. For if any of us do not have justice, none of us have justice. From the very beginning, this government has failed the ideal that we are all created equal. If the dream is to be realized, it is up to us, the builders, the workers, the artists, the immigrants, the citizens, the parents, the children, the religious and irreligious alike, to make this nation truly for all. Rights can be written into law, but they are only protected by people. So it is up to us to look at our neighbors, understand our struggle, and lift them up. If you are disabled, should we let them just suffer? No, lift them up. Refugees in our community
that run businesses, that pay taxes, should we let them just be shipped off to a faraway land? No! Lift them up! Palestinians being bombed, losing homes, dead children. Should we just stand by and let that happen? What should we do? Kings, should we tolerate them? What should we do for all the people that suffer under this administration? ICE in your neighborhood, deporting your neighbors. What should we do? Uninsured Americans at risk of medical bankruptcy. What should we do? Disenfranchised voters. Texas gerrymandering districts so Republicans can win again. What should we do? Women dying because of laws that restrict reproductive freedom. What should we do?